Hi everyone, and welcome to the first Corgi range launch announcement for 2026. This year marks the 70th anniversary of the launch of the very first Corgi model, and so we are planning a programme of model releases and events to celebrate in style. We'll be revealing some of the new tooling models to come this year in this video as well. Before we get to that though, we're delighted to reveal some of the new partnerships that we'll be working with this year across our Aviation Archive and Vanguards ranges to deliver some really exciting new models to collectors. The Commemorative Air Force is the largest private air force in the world, operating a fleet of more than 175 aircraft representing more than 60 different types. Based in Dallas, Texas, the organisation was founded in 1957 with the purchase of their first aircraft, and today they fly air shows across the United States every year while also touring internationally. We're thrilled to be partnered with them for a multi-year agreement that will see Corgi produce models of some of their most famous aircraft, starting later this year. The other new aviation partner that I'm revealing today is quite different, but no less significant. The People's Mosquito are a UK-based charity that has set out with an extremely noble and important aim: to construct the very first UK-built de Havilland Mosquito in over 70 years and return it to flight on the UK airshow circuit. We'll have a lot more to reveal in the months ahead of what we're working on with the team at People's Mosquito, but when it comes, you can expect it to be big. For Vanguards, as well as continuing our partnership with Richard Hammond and his classic car restoration business The Smallest Cog, I'm pleased to reveal that we are launching partnerships with a number of UK-based motoring museums, starting with the British Motor Museum in Gaydon and the County Classics Motor Museum in Taunton. We'll have more on the first releases from these partnerships later in this video. Besides our own big birthday, there are also some notable pop culture anniversaries we'll be marking this year, including the 60th anniversary of the Star Trek franchise, the 50th anniversary of the founding of Aardman Animations, and the 20th anniversary of the first James Bond film to star Daniel Craig, Casino Royale. Now then, on to the new models coming between January and April this year, as well as some of the new tooling you can expect from us in 2026, spread across the key areas of Aviation Archive, Vanguards and our pop culture ranges. Starting with Aviation Archive, this year we are working on 3 brand new tool models as well as investing in modifying 2 other existing model tools to add functionality and improve quality. Today I'll be revealing 2 of the new tool models and 1 of the modified models. Firstly, this year marks the 90th anniversary of the first flight of the legendary Supermarine Spitfire, so we're filling in a big hole in our range with a new tool of the Supermarine Spitfire Mark V. This tooling is fully featured rather than a modification to our existing Merlin engine Spits, and as a result we've taken the opportunity to go a little further and will be bringing something never released in diecast before: early marks of the Supermarine Seafire. The second Aviation Archive new tool we're revealing has also been requested for quite a while: the Lockheed Hudson. An unsung hero of the Second World War, the Hudson was an early medium bomber that went on to serve throughout the conflict with a list of notable achievements, including the first kill claimed by the Royal Air Force. This one is a little further off, but in both cases we'll be covering the development of both models in our Diecast Diaries blog throughout the year, and you can expect the final Aviation Archive new tool to be revealed in the summer. The first of our newly modified Aviation Archive releases is already here though, and I'm delighted to both reveal the model and say that pre-orders are now live. The de Havilland Mosquito has been one of our most popular releases in 1/72nd scale, but has arguably been getting rather long in the tooth. So I'm pleased to say we've applied some tender loving care to the tooling and upgraded it to more modern standards. As such, we've retooled the nose guns on the FB6 variant so they are now far more detailed, and added an open bomb bay option by retooling the lower fuselage. To display the updated model, we've tooled an updated display stand cradle. The first release with this modified tool pays tribute to the most decorated pilot in our Air Fighter Command, John Braham. The livery reflects the aircraft that he piloted to claim his first victory in the Mosquito while on day intruder operations in the spring of 1944. This model sample only arrived this week, and we've already noted some major decoration updates to action on it before release. Moving on to new releases, we have 7 more new models available for pre-order. Firstly, we have the return of the Fairey Swordfish Mark I to the range, this time in the livery of one of the aircraft that participated in the Battle of Taranto, where the Royal Navy staged a successful attack on the Italian fleet while it was in port. Next, we have the long-awaited return of the Dornier D017Z to the Aviation Archive, this time with a small modification to add flotation aids to the tooling. These were added to the aircraft type during the Blitz to try and aid pilots who had been shot down over the English Channel. Following the quick sellout of the first release of our newly tooled Messerschmitt Me410 last year, we're pleased to reveal the next model of the type, and something very different from the first, with this distinctive Night Intruder variant. We're aware that 1/72nd scale jets have been very light in the Aviation Archive range recently, so so I'm pleased to be introducing a glut of them in this announcement. Firstly, we have the return of the Gloucester Meteor F8 to the range for the first time since 2008. This model depicts the Squadron Commander's aircraft from RAF Biggin Hill that flew patrols around the English coast in 1953. The English Electric Canberra is also back in the range after the previous sellout release, this time to mark the 70th anniversary of the Suez Crisis. This highly distinctive livery replicates an aircraft that carried out dive bombing attacks on parked aircraft on the 3rd of November 1956. The Seppercat Jaguar also returns with a livery that represents an aircraft kept at the Cold War front line and featuring a weapon configuration that we've never released before. Plus, this particular aircraft has a unique story thanks to it being accidentally shot down by friendly fire. And finally for the Aviation Archive, our 1/48 scale Panavia Tornado returns in a distinctive winter exercises scheme from the mid-1990s. Moving on to Vanguards now, we're celebrating yet another anniversary as this year sees the 30th anniversary of the range. To mark it, we're introducing 5 brand new tools to the Vanguards collection, with both the Range Rover Classic and the MGB GT both already revealed. So, our 3 remaining new tools are all part of the ever popular Ford range. 2 are more standard Vanguards releases that fill in some big holes: the Ford Cortina Mark II 1600E and the Ford Focus Mark II RS and ST. The new tool that you won't be expecting, and the one which caught us by surprise when we went out and asked what people would like to see most in the Vanguards range, is the Ford GT40. This year marks the 60th anniversary of Ford winning Le Mans with the GT40 for the first time, but our new tooling will go beyond the race car and replicate the street legal version of the vehicle. Only 31 examples of this specification to the Mark I GT40 were ever built by Ford at their Slough factory, but we were able to locate and LiDAR scan one of those very rare cars to create our own new tooling. We'll have updates on all of these new tools in Diecast Diaries in the coming months, but today I'm pleased to say that the Range Rover Classic is now available for pre-order. The first of these has been produced with the aid of the British Motor Museum, with the real vehicle on display at the museum in Gaydon. It replicates the very first Range Rover to come off the production line to be used for the creation of publicity materials. We're also putting pre-orders live for a later 4-door Range Rover from the famous In Vogue spec series. We also have our first model produced in partnership with the County Classics Museum in Taunton, this Hillman Avenger Tiger Mark II in Sundance Yellow. The MGB Roadster also returns to the range in Mineral Blue. And the Vauxhall Astra Mark II GTE is also back in Rembrandt Silver. Moving on to Fords, we have plenty of new colour options joining the range. The Ford Escort Mark I 1300 GT is back with this version in Marine Blue, and the Mark II RS 2000 has this distinctive Carnival Red version coming. The Ford Capri Mark I returns with this striking Glacier Blue livery, while the Mark II arrives with this 1.6 GT in Purple Velvet. The Ford Cortina is represented by this Mark IV 2.0S and this Mark V 1.3 in Prairie Yellow. Our incredibly popular Ford Fiesta Mark II is back again with a 1.1 litre version in Citrine Yellow. And finally, the heaviest of all Vanguards is back with this Ford Ranger Raptor SE in Conker Grey. Moving on to our pop culture range, we have a brand new tool to announce in our James Bond collection. While we may be some time away from 007's return to cinemas, 2026 nonetheless sees a major event arrive for the world's most famous spy, with the release of 007 First Light, a major new video game created by IO Interactive. The game sees players take on the role of a young Bond as he seeks to prove himself in the 00 program, with the ultimate aim of attaining 007 status and gaining access to one of the most exciting vehicles to appear in any James Bond media, the Aston Martin Valhalla. I'm very pleased to announce that we'll be adding the Valhalla to our Bond collection, featuring this advanced non-standard weaponry fitted by Q Branch. Pre-orders are now open on this model, and we'll have plenty more to show of this one as we head towards the release of 007 First Light at the end of May. Next, we re-released the legendary Corgi 267 Batmobile in the autumn of 2024, and it became one of our biggest ever sellers of recent years. Eagle-eyed buyers may have noticed that the version we released featured a permanently attached tow hook on the rear of the vehicle, but we hadn't released anything for it to tow. Well, that changes today, as I'm pleased to say the 107 Batboat with Batman and Robin is joining the Corgi range very soon. This is a wide release of the Batboat version already released by Corgi Model Club. And finally, 2026 sees the 60th anniversary of the Star Trek franchise. Since we returned to the Final Frontier 2 years ago, we've been thrilled with the response to our re-released and brand new tool models, and I'm pleased to confirm we're going to continue in a big way with this beloved science fiction collection this year. First up for release in the next couple of months is the much requested USS Enterprise NCC-1701A. Featuring a reworked paint job to set it apart from the original refit version of the Enterprise, this new release is now available for pre-order. We have plenty of other brand new tool Star Trek models in development right now. If you saw our social media announcement on Star Trek Day last September, you'll have seen that we're working on the USS Enterprise NCC-1701E from Star Trek First Contact, the USS Defiant NX-74205 from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and the USS Voyager NCC-74656 from Star Trek Voyager. We'll have a full update and first contact with these models on April the 6th this year. That's it for this range announcement, but stay tuned in late February as we'll have a further update on some big new models that weren't ready for their debut in this video. Keep an eye on our social media channels and Diecast Diaries blog for updates on everything we've revealed today and more besides. Thank you for watching.